Do that. Good. Give them just a second to get over here. Anybody have any questions before we get started? Nope. Everybody good? All right. So in this talk, we're going to talk about how to install your nuke. Okay. So it's very simple. It's a little bit easier than installing a package, but the same rules apply if you listen to the package talk. So you need to be sure you have all of your equipment in the yard and ready to go. Preferably you've already done that. It's outside. So our setup here is we got a screen bottom. We have a deep box with 5 frames. And then we have our inner cover and outer cover, and then we have our feeder. You're going to want to feed your new hive as long as they're taking the food. So the general rule is we run 2 deeps or 3 mediums for our brood area. So with nukes, they're in deep frames, so you need to be in a deep box. So you'll have 2 deeps. So the rule is when this box is 70% full, so 7 of those 10 frames are completely drawn out and full, then you need to be thinking about adding your second box. So that means you need to have your second box ready, because your nuke should have pretty close to 5 frames already full in it right now. And then, so that only means they really have to draw 1 frame, 1.5 frames on each side, and then they're going to be ready for that second box. So again, you're going to feed them until you're ready to go. So when you get your nuke, it's going to be very irritated from the drive home. So I hardly ever recommend bringing your nuke home and immediately opening it up and moving it into your box. That's just a good way to get stung. So the best thing to do is when you bring your nuke in, set it in less than 3 feet from your hive. So either put it on top of it or set it right next to it. Some people will do a little bit of an angle at the front door. However you do it, just as soon as you get home, set it up and immediately flip the entrance. So to flip the entrance, you just take that little tab and push it up, and it's open. Take off running. So they're going to come barreling out of there. They're not going to be happy from the jostling ride home. So, and that is okay. You can leave them like that until tomorrow. If you have a long drive, that's fine. As long as there is air moving across the box, it will help keep them cool. They cannot get out to get water. They can't cool themselves down. So as long as they're moving, you're okay. If you have a 2, 3, 4 hour drive home, it's okay. If you want to stop for dinner, you just need to be sure you get into a shady spot where it'll be a little cooler. Don't leave them out in the sun. They'll make it. But as soon as you get home, then you need to pop that lid open. If you are staying somewhere else tonight and then going to take them to your farm or something tomorrow, you're better off to set them up at your house or wherever you are. Crack that lid, let them come and go, and then go out there in the morning before the sun gets out, and then close them up, and then you can move them from there. That will let them get out and cool down. Okay, so when you open your nuke up, what we're going to do is we're going to pull, we've only got 5 frames in our box. We're going to pull an extra frame or 2 out, so we'll only have 3 or 4 frames in there. We're going to want to go frame by frame and check our nuke. A good nuke will have a frame of open brood, which is eggs or larvae. They have a frame of capped brood, which is the darker brown capping. It'll have a frame of food, either pollen or nectar. Typically a 4th frame of one of those things before, okay? We really want to at least find the queen, and we need to be sure we find eggs, okay? So that's what those 4 frames. The 5th frame is typically a grower frame, so it may not be full, which is fine. As long as they're working on drawing it out or it has something in it, that's okay. If you have less than that, or if you do not find a queen or any eggs, you either need to call us back or whoever you're getting your nukes from and tell them immediately. You do not want to put them in and wait a week or 2 to see if they fix it on their own. That's not what you've bought. You've bought a fully functioning nuke. You need to make sure that's what you have. It happens. They get trucked in, so the box will move, the frames will move. Sometimes the queen just gets in between 2 frames and gets pinched. It could happen on the way to your house. Wait on the airplane. They are not marked in the nukes, no. So packages, they are marked, but not in the nukes. Okay, so you want to be sure you have that. So again, you do not want to wait a week or 2. You need to know within 3 or 4 days if you have eggs. So after you install it, you want to come back in 3 to 4 days, and you want to either find the queen or find evidence of her laying eggs. After that first week, if you can guarantee you have eggs, then you should be fine. They should be able to keep progressing and going from there. After about 3 or 4 days to a week, it basically becomes user error at that point. Whoever you're getting your nukes from is probably not going to be near as lenient as to my queen got pinched on the way home. That after a week or two, there's a lot of the user factor coming in that will take out their responsibility. So you need to really be sure in that first week you're checking them and you're good to go. So any questions on that? Okay. All right, so basically installing a nuke is just essentially a hive check. That's really all we're doing. It's a very short process, so if y'all don't ask some questions, I'm gonna be done really, really fast. No, hopefully the running part's already over. Okay, so we've got an entrance reducer in. So this is not like a package where you need to close off the entrance. A package, they do not have a home, so we're trying to force them to accept this as their home. The nuke, this is their home. This is where they want to live. So they are not going to leave their brood and abscond unless there is something wrong with your equipment. So usually it's not a problem with nukes. So you do not have to close off the entrance. We want them to come and go and immediately start raising from there. Okay, so we've got our 10 frame box. So I didn't say that. So this is a 10 frame box. We've got 4 left. So this will leave us a little bit of room to move these in. So basically you crack your lid, and if they've calmed down, hopefully they're gonna just sound just like that. So you always look for the queen. Anytime you move anything, look for the queen. So I don't see her up there. We're just gonna set that off to the side. I usually try to keep them oriented the same way. I don't try to move them all around. We're just gonna move them right over. If you move it around, it's springtime, it's not a big deal, but try to keep them in the same order if you can. So just take one frame out. And always check it. I'm gonna walk it around here. I'm gonna look for the queen. So this frame here, I've got workers, I've got some nectar coming in. And then this side's fairly open. So this would probably be our grower frame. I'm not seeing a whole lot past that on here, but we do have half a frame of nectar here. So I'm gonna walk them around here in a second as we get a little further here. All right, I think I'm seeing eggs in there. It's a little hard to see. Okay. So we got a lot of nectar here. We got some pollen. I think I'm seeing a few eggs on this other side. So again, we're going back to a standard hive check. So the fact that the bees are fairly calm is a sign of a queen right hive. I'm going to try to find a better example to show you, but I think I'm seeing a few eggs right in there. So this is a lot more food. So hopefully we're going to start finding some good brood in here. So again, always just looking for the queen every frame you go. So there is a little bit of a queen cell here, which we don't want to see. But just pop it open, it's empty. They tend to put swarm cells, queen cells around. As long as they're empty, it's really nothing to worry about. They tend to have them on hives just throughout the year. They just kind of have them on the ready. Now, if you'll notice one thing, you may have to get closer. If you'll notice the noise on this, you hear how they're getting a little louder, and these aren't. That's a sign the queen's still in here. But again, this is just a normal hive check at this point. So we've got lots of bees. So here I've got some capped brood. All right, I'm definitely seeing some eggs in there. I have not seen much larvae yet. We definitely have lots of eggs. This is a full frame of eggs right here. Well, that means she's in here laying eggs. So yeah, she's probably right around here. Oh, here she is right here. Okay, so this is what we want to see. So I'll come around to you. I'm gonna come around. So she's a little on the small side, which new queens freshly laying eggs can be a little on the small side, so hopefully she'll grow. That's something we'll watch. So you see her running around there. So this is a full frame of eggs.
Where is she?
Right here, right at the end of my pinky.
The
She's a little darker.
Yeah, in the dark, yeah. Okay, underneath the bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's got her nose to the grindstone. Trying to find any hole.
So here she is right here. So this is a frame of all fresh eggs on capped brood. So that means this frame has hatched out some capped brood, and she's immediately come back in and filling it back up with eggs. She's right here at my pinky.
Okay.
She's crawling down.
Kind of closed in there.
You see her okay? So like I said, she's a little small, so we may open another hive here to show you a queen a little bigger, easier to see.
Which one? That one right there.
She's going under. She's hiding.
Yep.
Oh yeah, they're hiding hers.
See her right here. Does anybody else need to see her?
Me.
Right here at my pinky.
Oh, okay. Now, can we tag her?
If you want to tag her, yes. So by tagging, she's meaning mark the queen. I would not do it today. I would probably wait a week or two, let her get in the new home and get set up, let them start growing a little bit. You could do it before you add that second box. She should still be pretty easy to find.
I thought she was being much larger.
That's what I'm saying. She's a little on the small side, but the easiest way to tell is their tail goes down past the end of their wings. She's the only bee that'll have a noticeable difference from the difference. So this one is a little hard to see her. But again, as they first start laying eggs, they will get a little bigger. Everybody see it?
Can we see it? Sorry.
It's okay. I gotta find her again. There she is right there. She's hiding.
See it?
So,
Still don't see it.
right, she's right here at the end of my pinky. I'm following her. And she's
I see
crawling
it,
under the
yeah.
other bees, so
I
that's
saw
what's
that.
making it really hard to see.
If
All right.
I have a drawn out frame already, can I use that instead of empty, or should I?
Yes, if you have drawn comb, put it in. It doesn't do you any good not in a beehive. Okay, so we've seen some capped brood, so hopefully we got another good frame of brood here. I've got more food.
Egg in a cell, just something in the
It's
bottom.
just hard to see. Yeah, you just got to look down into that bottom and find her. I've got more eggs. I've got lots of eggs. So I'm wondering if this one requeened themselves somewhere in the process here, and she's just now coming out laying lots of eggs. Because I'm not seeing much larvae.
Is that unusual for them to do that already?
It could have happened a week or two ago. So with packages or with nukes, that's not abnormal, but. Okay, so did everybody see everything? Okay, so this one does not have. I'm not seeing much larva, but we found the queen. We've got capped brood. We had over a full frame of eggs. So our count is correct. We do have a frame of open brood, frame of capped brood, frame of food, and then we did have a fourth one. So this would be an acceptable nuke. So from my end, I would like to see a little bit more open larva in there. But my guess is this one probably requeened 2 or 3 weeks ago, and that's why that queen's a hair smaller. So I would expect that queen to get a little bigger and to take off, especially for as many eggs were in there. So I think it's going to be fine. I don't think it's going to be anything to worry about. So again, on our week check, we should have a ton of larvae and capped brood in there then. So that would be one that if in a week or two, if in the end of that week you're not seeing that, then give us a call and we'll get you another queen. So, any questions on what we've done so far?
So if you suspect that Winston had requeened itself like that, like I bought one of the Russian nukes, right? So that's supposed to be a mated Russian queen.
Yes.
You wouldn't have that, right, if they had requeened it?
It would have requeened still at the yard, so it would still be a Russian queen.
Oh, because
So yeah.
Their yard is saturated.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. So it would still. So I'm not concerned about this not being an Italian queen or anything like that. So. Okay. So we don't have any more questions. So we've moved that over. We've got a few bees left in the box here. It's not very many. You can give them a shake in if you want, or you can lay it at the entrance. Really doesn't matter which you do. So basically, we just knock all the bees out of this into the new box. And a lot of times we'll just leave it laying out. I don't usually close it up, leave it where it's exposed. And then we're just gonna feed. So we're gonna put our feeder on top. So this is an old style feeder here. So I used all my feed on the packages, but you just fill it up with whatever you have. Got a few bees floating around.
So there's no need to remove the bird comb off the top of the nook frames?
You can if you want, but they're just gonna build it right back up. So then we close it up. I'm sorry.
How do they get up in there?
There's a little wire piece on this end. They just crawl up in there. This is an old style feeder. I like the new styles that we have in store a lot better. So
They won't drown in there?
no, they can't get into the inside.
Oh.
Yeah, that wire keeps them from even getting in there. So that's essentially a nuke setup. So
What's the mixture of the food that we need?
the food is 1-to-1 sugar syrup this time of year. So half sugar, half water. You can do pollen if you want to do pollen. That'll help give them a little bit of a kick. I usually only put in about 1/4 of a pound at a time. I don't give them a whole pound. Just give them a little bit, see how they take it. Some bees love it, they eat it right up. Some bees don't touch it, and then it's just a spot for hive beetles to lay their eggs. The hive beetles will lay their eggs directly into a pollen patty if they're not taking the food.
Feeding them right now won't cause robbing.
No, so I have an introducer in, so that'll help reduce it. If you're having a problem with robbing, just stop.
I'm new to this, so I'm just asking.
Yeah, robbing tends to be more in the summer when we're in a dearth. Right now there's lots of stuff in bloom, so they're pretty good. Nuke is very good about guarding the hive. So usually after a week, they start accepting this as their home, and they're getting pretty well, they'll start getting protective.
Is robbing just by what, honeybees or is
Yeah,
it
it's mainly honeybees coming in, so
really?
yeah, from other hives.
Rob your hive.
So, okay, so this was just a random nuke I grabbed, so I wish I had one that looked a hair better than that, but again, that would pass an inspection. It had what we were looking for. So if it had a lower number of bees, then this would be one I'd say you need to do some serious checking or take some pictures or whatever just so you have it. But we found the queen. We again found lots of eggs, so she's definitely in there taking off running. So we should be good to go.
So if we don't find all that, we bring it back?
You don't bring it back, no.
Oh,
Just
I'm
call.
like, how am I gonna-
Yeah, just call and say. So let's say we found all of that. So we found lots of capped brood and larvae, and we didn't find any eggs, and we couldn't find the queen at all. Then call and say, I think I've got a queenless nuke. We'll either tell you to come get another queen right then. If you're not sure what you're seeing, we'll usually tell you to wait 3 or 4 days. So if from the move 4 days from then, you would not have any eggs in the hive at all. So even if you killed the queen on the trip home, and within 4 days you would have no eggs at all. So that's why you wait for that 3 to 4 day mark. So if in 3 to 4 days you have eggs, then that queen has laid eggs since you installed it in that box. So then again, and then at that point it becomes either user error or something that's going on in the hive. So, all right. All right, well that's it.